Let's open up the OG mailbag. Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovius. We are in Eford Studios. Thanks to Empire Properties. As always, we thank Copiers Plus. But on Fridays, when we open up the mailbag, it's brought to you by the Butcher's Market. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. It is soon to be prime Carolina Hurricanes tailgate season. The weather's perfect. The playoffs are here. The times are a little meh. Doesn't matter. Your tailgate doesn't have to be meh to match those times. You can get all the goodies at the Butcher's Market.
Or just stop over at Lake Boone before the game. Get a steak and cheese sandwich. For real.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, they have beers there too. So get yourself a pop, have yourself a sandwich, head over to the arena before you have to pay $9 million for it at the arena.
I love it. I love it. Oh, by the way, before we get into the mailbag.
Housekeeping.
I know a rare housekeeping on a mailbag. I was thinking about this in relation to the OG birthday bash, which is taking place May 1st, Thursday, May 1st at Shady's in Garner. And you already made a face, so you know where I'm going with this. So I feel like we have to have a meeting.
We're having a meeting.
You just want to make it a potluck?
I'm waiting to hear one more word back.
I think it would be funny if we did a potluck.
That would be kind of sort of hysterical.
Yeah. Who says no to a potluck?
No one. No one.
I mean, I can see Steve can bring the ice cream machine if he's going to show up. Right?
Okay, now this might have legs.
It's just a thought. It's just a thought. We're also going to break out. I'm going to put an order in for some foam trucker hats, exclusive to the birthday bash. Because not only are we going to have OG Light, the beer, your first opportunity to get some beer flavored podcast beer.
Reynolds is very excited about the beer flavored beer.
Okay.
Speaking of Steve, so yes,
very exciting.
Yeah.
So we got that. We have the foam trucker hats that we're going to give away too.
Oh, we're going to give the hats away.
That'll be part of the raffle.
Oh, okay.
Have we opened up, by the way, the raffle portion of this?
We have not. I'm securing some more bourbon today.
But do we want to start telling people where to send the raffle, or do you want to formulate that for next week? And we can unveil it Monday.
You're like a half a step ahead of me. So
I mean, the OG birthday bash is in about 2 weeks, buddy. Less than 3 weeks.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Anyway.
I also need to formulate a way to get more money out of the raffle. So I think I'm going to offer maybe a better price point.
Okay. Like a lower price.
Yeah.
More opportunities.
Yeah. I want to Bobby Purcell this thing. I want to get more people. I want to get less money for more people.
Did I tell you that I saw Bobby Purcell at Clues recently?
You didn't.
And I was with Gordon. Shout out to Miller Lending.
Yeah.
Because Gordon loves Clues. I was actually at Clues yesterday with Jacob's old hockey coach. I had to introduce him to the glizzy spot. So there you go. What are you laughing at?
On the bingo card.
I'm touching them all. I'm even wearing a brewery shirt for you today. The other one that I got. The Ballast Point out in Long Beach. Anyway.
Oh, something popped up on my timeline. I almost sent it to you, but it was like this parody thing. But it was like this guy. It was a fake news reel.
Okay.
And they were interviewing like a man on the street. And he was like, yeah, man, I was in my boat just trying to rip a few zinnies. And I was like,
see? There it is. There it is.
Here's a mail that never fails. Makes me want to whack my tail. When it comes, what a whale.
As always with the mailbag, a couple of these, they're free. You're watching on YouTube right now, perhaps. Listen to your favorite podcast platform. Cool. But then the rest of it is for OG fans, subscribers. So go to ogtrianglemedia.com to get the full mailbag along with things like ACC Panic Room. Talk to Mitch in yesterday's ACC Panic Room.
Congrats to Mitch, by the way. Speaking of things I saw on the socials.
Yes. He kind of spoiled it for me. He spoiled it for me at our Crank Arm event because I was like, hey, man, let's talk about this whole Duluth, Georgia women's tournament thing, right? He's like, well, I'm like, we'll do it after. So, yes, congrats to Mitch. But yeah, if you want to find out why the ACC women's tournament's going to Duluth and some other matters, ACC Panic Room's for you there at the ogtrianglemedia.com. We got OG on business, all sorts of fun stuff. And of course, the newsletter. You'd have all the Nikishan info you would need if you subscribed to the newsletter. Well, let's get started.
You've got mail.
From Daniel. I went down the 1976 Billboard 100 rabbit hole, and there are far too many song candidates to choose from. from Kelly. 1976 Chapel Bill rockin' to Get Up Off That Thing by James Brown and Enjoy Yourself by the Jackson 5 on that 8-track while driving around in a Chevrolet Chevette. I love all these visuals. See, I know you had looked at 1976. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pulling up the Wikipedia of the number one songs, year-end chart, number one songs, Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, you should also go to April for when his birthday was.
So Wings' Silly Love Songs, which would be a perfect Instagram music choice for Bill Belichick if he wanted to, along with Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Disco Lady by Johnny Taylor. Oh man, December 1963. Oh, What a Night by the Four Seasons, and Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry round out your top 5. What I was most curious about, this is the problem. You send me on a Billboard chart rabbit hole, I will lose copious amounts of time. It's your birthday next week. So I went and looked up the Billboard 100 week ending April 26th.
For 75?
1975.
Nice.
BJ Thomas. What song is this? Another Somebody Done Something Wrong. I don't remember that song. Followed by Philadelphia Freedom. He Don't Love You by Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Oh, man.
Oh, Loving You by Minnie Riperton.
Where's Rand when we need him?
Supernatural Thing by Benny King.
Oh, Chevy Van.
Oh,
and we made love in my Chevy Van.
Freddie.
That's all right by me.
This is a deep Freddie Fender. Low key before the next teardrop falls. You had a good week, man.
Wait, go back to the top. What was the band there? BJ Thomas.
BJ Thomas. I don't remember this
Didn't
one.
BJ Thomas sing "Show Me That Smile" again for the?
I do. Hold on a second.
Show me that smile, or was that actually Alan Thicke?
Well, I'm always wary of
another
BJ
somebody.
Thomas. What's that?
This is the song that was number one.
Hold it up to the. Well, I'm worried about the copyright. I don't remember that song.
Somebody done somebody wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember that song.
That would definitely not be for the love song though. The silly love songs would be better.
That
for
would
76 for our guy.
That would be top for you.
BB's version.
So of course I started to do this, and I'm like, all right, we see 1975. That's your weekending BJ Thomas. That was the number one song in the country when you were born. So what was the number one song in the country when you were 10? Or that
75, 85?
85.
Oh, man, I had some bangers in 85.
I actually looked at the year-end charts. Dude, it is
85's a
banger after banger. Careless Whisper by Wham, Like a Virgin, Madonna, Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Shaka?
I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner.
Shaka Khan.
You were singing that earlier before we got recording today.
Feel for you.
Out of Touch by Daryl Hall and John Oates. Tears for Fears. Man, Crazy for You by Madonna. Take on Me. Aha. 1985 was an incredible year for music.
It was from the movie.
Heat is
the wrestling
on.
movie.
How is We Are the World wrapping up at 20? That must have come out at the end of the year.
In its run. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was. So yeah. Miami Vice theme. I had that on 45 back in the day. All right, let's
Sheila. Ooh.
Let's fast forward another 10 years.
I was 20.
Just before Joe Giglio graduated. Sophomore year?
A princess before you.
Is it sophomore or junior year?
95 would have been my first shift at the N&O in 95.
Gangsta's Paradise, year-end number one. Waterfalls.
Your favorite.
Waterfalls and
the lakes and the rivers that you're used to.
Yeah, Seal, Kiss from a Rose, which I did not realize was about cocaine.
What?
Yeah.
It wasn't about Batman saving Vicky Vale?
No, that's another one of those. Are you singing about cocaine or are you singing about a lover? Or is it both?
Oh, now I'm going to look that shit up.
Yeah. On Bended Knee by Boys to Men.
There's your Boys to Men.
I know. Fantasy by Mariah Carey. Take a Bow, another good one too.
That's from another Madonna movie.
Take a Bow was from Evita. If I remember correctly.
No. Take a Bow was from like that terrible Joe Pesci and Harvard movie. Joe Pesci was the homeless guy at Harvard. The actor, Brendan Fraser.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
When did this come out? Take a Bow. Where was this from?
It's actually a
it was produced by Babyface. It was a leftover for No, it must have been on a movie then, but I guess this came from another. Yes, it came from Bedtime Stories. I got my years wrong.
Brendan Fraser. Joe Pesci
I'm not
movie.
even recalling.
With honors.
Okay.
With
Okay.
honors.
I remember now. All right.
Yes.
Let's fast forward to 2005. What were you doing in 2005?
I got nothing in 5 because James was born and I was, knee deep in diapers and everything else.
Yeah, this was faux adulthood with me and Kelly. We didn't have kids yet. We were just getting into our jobs at that point. Actually, no, she was wrapping up law school at this point, and I was full time at 850 and 620. So Mariah Carey's "We Belong." Whoa, hold on a second.
Whoa.
That song's 20 years old? That's one of my all-time favorites from Mariah Carey's "We Belong Together." That's a great song. I love that song.
Okay.
Holla Back Girl, Let Me Love You by
that's a good
Mario.
one.
See, this is when we start getting into the territory of how is this 20 years old?
Oh, see now, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I mixed up my Madonna songs. I'll Remember is the Madonna song with honors.
Okay.
'Cause I'll remember.
I remember which one you're talking. Mr. Oh, geez, that's right. The Killer's Hot Fuss came out 20 years ago. Oh.
Let me see some more.
Oh, geez.
Because I don't remember any 05s.
Well, hold on a second. I had killed the.
It's fine.
Now here's where we
30 in 05.
Here's where we get into 2015. These songs are 10 years old.
Oh, now I got no. This is like Drake, right? It's
Uptown
like back to back.
Uptown Funk is 10 years old.
Okay. I like
Thinking
that.
Out Loud, Ed Sheeran. You're like, oh, Ed Sheeran's probably something that the slow
youth
dance.
are dancing to.
Thinking Out Loud, dude, that's 10 years old, man. Well, because think about
you would still play songs at your prom
that
were 10 years old.
All right, here's the context I want you to put it in. Here's the thing I know I've mentioned this before, but now I think we can do it with songs from 2015.
You're so quick to pull the trigger on, not even let me look at the list.
Sorry. So let's put this in the context of specifically Caleb and Jackson. Okay. Both juniors in high school.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the equivalent in 1995 hearing stuff from 1985. Which we did, but we also recognized as completely old and ancient stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that at my prom, we were not listening to Crazy for You by Madonna.
I'll just tell you this. In 93, my prom song was actually We've Got Tonight by Bob Seger. I'm just telling you. Okay. So
who chose that song?
Not me. I mean, somebody was thirsty in 93.
Somebody was trying to lose their virginity in 1993 by going, I got it.
I got you. It's not a love song.
We got Tonight, though.
Hey, babe. That's
actually a really inspired choice for a prom song in 1993.
Okay.
I'm impressed by whoever made that the prom song.
So 15. This is a good list, man. This is another good list, though.
What, 2015? Yeah, there was good stuff back in 2015. I'm just kind of in a weird shock that it's 10 years old now. No, the 2005 is the one that's messing with me. Because, like, how is that 20 years old?
Can't Feel My Face. Take Me to Church.
Yeah.
Bad Blood. Blank Space.
Oh, that's when Taylor Swift started to get into the peak of her powers.
The people today would listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's when she was getting into the peak of her powers.
Especially since her recent stuff is like, what are we doing?
For sure.
I want to dance to something. I want to feel good about something.
From Corey, Bill is going to be all of the summer offseason protocols, isn't he?
I mean, potentially, but we got to talk about something, guys. I mean, we got to make chicken salad. What do you want us to do?
Well, I guess the other thing too, and as before we got recording today, we were talking about our conversation with Andrew Jones yesterday. It's fascinating on multiple levels. Like, take the girlfriend stuff aside, like the fact that there's no information coming out of there. They haven't talked to a player since December or whatever it was when they made him available. Bill's only done one media appearance for the spring. Like, it's just a weird, interesting situation that's unfolding out there. I think yesterday, Sean, Mr. Carolina superfan, who hates it when we talk about Carolina, was like, I just cannot wait for all this to be over. Why? Hasn't even started. That's the thing. I mean, we haven't even played a game yet.
I mean, what else you want us to talk about this summer? You want us to talk about Dave Doran and CJ Bailey?
Actually, I'm pretty sure Dave Doran doesn't want anybody talking about it right now. He's like, please talk about Bill the entire time.
You have new mail.
From Doug. Well, if you don't want to talk about Bill, we can talk about this. Seventh Woods was surely going to be the next great Tar Heel after his mixtape dropped. You had mentioned the Ryan Harrow mixtape being legendary. That's on us. I forgot Seventh Woods had another one of those banger mixtapes that people talked about.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed now that I missed. And Seventh Woods is like related to Ray Felton, or he's related to somebody because he maybe Ty Law. He's related to one of them, and so I can't remember. People were so excited about him because it was like, again, it was like the family. It was, and then you had the mixtapes of all the dunks and an unbelievable jumper for sure.
Yeah, but now with social media, to Austin Rivers' point, now with social media, everybody's got a mixtape. But we've talked to. So these are things that we have kind of discussed in the past. Probably John Wall was the one who really put it on the map for those types of things, right? So, and I've done some previous, brief history things about that.
John was local to us, so there was less of a mystery.
Yeah.
I feel like a true mixtape hero is one you don't have the chance to see in person, and the only thing you know about them is their mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
That was Ryan Harrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Harrow was the definition of this guy. He's going to be the best point guard since Chris Corchiani. He's the highest rated recruit since Julius Hodge. He's ... And then he got here and he gave us bubble guts. And that was it.
With his dog.
And that was it.
Two thoughts about Ryan Harrow. I think we should probably bring these guys in to chat. The first one's more of a silly thing. Do you remember Chris Bullard? Does that name ring a bell? It's this NC State super fan that's still on social media. Like, he's a Wags guy.
Okay.
I think he hangs out with Joe Wagstaff.
Yeah.
And I remember the day that everybody was over at whatever the bar is now. It was called what's the name of the sports bar there off of Avon Ferry? Sammy's. Yeah. Sammy's Tap and Grill, right? That he pulled up in his truck and he had like CJ Leslie and Ryan Harrow and them sign the truck.
That's right.
And like it faded over time, right? That's how excited he was. But I tell you what, this is a good summer protocol conversation. We need to bring Webb Wellman in.
Yes.
Because Webb was a hoops mixtape pioneer.
Yes.
Who helped put John Wall on the map.
Yes. And still has a relationship with John.
Yes. So we got to talk to Webb about the origins and the fading glory
I'd like that
of the hoops mixtape. That would be a good summer protocol, nice Wednesday type conversation.
Yeah, it won't be all Belichick guys, but yeah, you need some go-tos because,
fair enough.
We have a lot to get into.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
I didn't like your tone with that, by the way.
Well, we do have a lot to get into.
I didn't really like your tone.
I'm trying to land the big interview with the genius from the Courage. That's what I'm working on right now.
Nice. All right, this is from a 434.
Hi, guys. Josh in Charlottesville, but not the 252, the other one. Y'all talking about John Shire building his own style at Duke as a contrast to K got me thinking about another one of your ideas you sort of gotten halfway to earlier. Even though he's a state guy, is the true inheritor of the K mantle Rod Brind'Amour. Thanks, great show.
Yeah, we've covered that one, but yeah, that is my opinion.
That Rod is that guy.
Rod is the best coach now in the Triangle. Yes, unheard of. Obviously,
the hockey coach is the best coach in the Triangle. Yeah.
30, 20, 10.
Well, look, like last night in a meaningless game, it was awesome.
Do you know who's actually an assistant with the Capitals?
No,
Kirk Muller.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah,
that was a disaster.
Nobody remembers that guy for good reason.
Oh, he got memory hold as a coach.
Yeah,
quick.
Yeah, I only know because if you look at the top of the handy dandy sheet that they give you, it tells you who the assistants are. Which is how I knew that Tim Gleason was still an assistant for the Canes.
Not because of the national anthem.
Well, that's why I had to look. I'm like this guy hasn't played in 20 years, and you're still screaming his name.
Still on the staff.
You're driving me crazy. I saw Kirk Muller. I was like, look at that. Nice.
So here's where Rod needs to elevate.
These things are awesome. By the way,
we got to get to the point where he actually has a grandson on the roster. It's awesome that Skylar got his first NHL goal last night, which is great. And they both emoted in very Rod Brind'Amour-esque ways, which is great. just to chip off the old block, man. Like I watched some of that game last night, meaningless, just because it was on, right? And awesome moment. I mean, just great moment. I think if I read this correctly, Skylar's first goal is also where Rod got his 1000th point or whatever it was. So it's all like coming together and all like
it's
all
very
that kind of
NC State of them to try to connect those two things.
Very. And then of course I get the email from Mike Senheim. Hurricanes assigned Brind'Amour, Nadeau, Morrow, and Fensore to Chicago because I guess they have
playoffs.
They got their playoffs to worry about. Yes, they got their playoffs to go. Speaking of which, tickets cheap, plentiful for
cheap,
Sunday's game.
Define cheap.
I got the youth hockey deal, upper levels
different
for $62 total.
That would be, by regular season comparison, $62 is relatively affordable.
Yes, and that again, that's through a deal with the youth hockey stuff.
Still $240 to bring your family though, just to get in the door.
I only got 2 tickets. It's for Kelly and Jacob.
You and I to park, and then
you and I will be upstairs.
You and I.
We actually gonna do it from upstairs?
Just you and I.
We can do a post from there.
Bring your stuff, man. I figured out how to use the Hujma boops there.
We'll make it happen. All right, from a 919.
Hi, this is Andrew from Garner, and I have a question about Lenovo Center renovation. So the city just approved all of this zoning, and there are all these multi-phases for really more than a decade's worth of work that they're planning to do. But I'm not seeing any news stories talk about the Raleigh Regional coming up in a few years for the NCAA tournament. I believe it's 2028. I'm curious, what exactly are they hoping to finish by that event? I assume that's part of why they got a regional, and how they plan to avoid it not being a disgusting looking construction zone for such a big event coming to Raleigh. Thanks.
That's a good question. I know the news of the week is that everything got approved and that this is going to be something that on paper will happen over the course of the next 15 years. Okay. On paper, that's what they say.
Okay.
As a North Hills resident, I can tell you that what they plan on doing and how long it's going to take don't exactly line up. And it takes a little bit longer. Cost overruns, delays, weather, all sorts of stuff that goes into that. So I'm going to ballpark it at 20 years over the course of the redevelopment. What's it going to look like in 2028? The one thing I don't know, and I have to read up on and ask around, is where are we in the phase?
I was going to say, I wouldn't think of this as a ongoing, like, big dig,
no,
if you will. I wouldn't even think of this as the incompetence that was when they built the Close King practice facility. I would think of this more of, like, as we speak, they're already doing stuff in the building, like the inside the building projects. They'll be done before you even blink.
Yes.
Okay. The phase 1 in the parking lot on the Wade Avenue side, I think it's east. That's going to be done. I would suspect that'll be done right quick. I mean, right quick, based on what I see downtown, on how long it takes for a parking deck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you got to remember this isn't like, this isn't your local, Conato politician getting a job done for his district. This is everyone being in line and lockstep to get this done. And it's also Dundon's money, not for the construction, but how he's the one who stands to make money off of it.
Yeah.
So the more quickly that this stuff is done, the faster he can make money off of it. So I think you're going to see this move in phases. I think the first phase will be done before the start of the next football season. I think that, to be perfectly honest.
Well, if we're focused on 2028, which is when the regionals will be back,
there should be 2 phases by 28.
By 20,
in my estimation,
the interior of the building should be done by
the interior of the building will be done by the beginning of next hockey season.
Yes, but also the outside and the facade too is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Because they're going to be doing some stuff to the outside, quality of life improvements, kind of reshaping the ins and outs and all that kind of stuff. So I would imagine that stuff will be done by 2028. I think what the caller is referencing is like, the upwards of 40-story buildings and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff is going to get, that's serious
that's the west
stuff.
side, that other side of the parking lot. That's over time.
Yeah.
And
that's where things are going to be weird.
Those, by the way, those are also plans. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I think this phase 1, whatever's in front of you is what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But I would not be worried that you're stepping over like cones and steel beams and, driving through whatever. Like the Big Dig was such a disaster for Boston. Like I don't think it'll be that.
All right. One more sports phone call before we go to the paid side of things.
Hey guys, my name's Zach. I just wanted to call in response to the Carolina fan caller that was talking about, how Final Fours are overrated. But from a Carolina perspective, what do they have 6 championships plus the 7th if you count the championship in the 20s versus the YMCA or whatever it was? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. So you got, let's just say 7 championships, and then the 1 year where Carolina eliminated Coach K in the Final Four in 22. So do you mean to tell me, man, that UNC, one of the most storied basketball programs in college basketball history, has only had 8 successful seasons? You're telling me that Dean Smith and Roy Williams each had less than 5 successful seasons? That's ridiculous, dude. You gotta have some context. You gotta have levels of success. If you don't win the championship, you don't reach your ultimate goal, but there's other things that can be achieved. And let's take Final Fours. I don't know how many Final Fours Carolina has, but it's a lot. But still, there are far more seasons that Carolina has not been to the Final Four than they have. And so that clearly shows that the Final Four is a difficult thing to get to. There were 360 teams, I believe, this year that did not make the Final Four. And you're telling me just because you're not the last one means you didn't succeed? Seems kind of ridiculous to me, man. There's got to be levels to things, levels of success. Duke didn't reach their ultimate goal, but they still had a successful season. State is in a different situation than those teams, so of course the Final Four is going to be like a cherry on top for them last year. There's levels. And even for Duke this year, this is a successful season without reaching that pinnacle. Not the pinnacle of success they wanted, but success nonetheless. Anyways, guys, love the show. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I think it makes sense.
Thoughts, Mr. I don't want consistency, I only want wins? Thoughts on that? Because I agree with the caller. I really have nothing else to add. Like the ridiculousness of Final Fours are overrated. I'm sorry, they're not.
No.
They're not overrated. I think that's a silly thing to say. Winning your conference tournament is also important too. Those are not overrated. Don't dismiss them. There's all sorts of levels to what you define as a successful season. But I do think there's added context in what were you set up to do for said seasons. So in the case of John Shire and Cooper Flagg and the team that he had, the way they lost contextualizes, man, you really missed there. Yes, you got to the Final Four. Mission accomplished. But, man, you really missed there and how you close things out.
Just like 99, as someone had pointed out to us, I think it was Chip Patterson, that the number 1 team in all of Ken Palm data is 99 Duke. Yeah. And the number 2 team is 25 Duke.
Funny how that works.
That's wild. My computer brain works at such a level I didn't even know. First of all, the only thing I have a reaction to there is, buddy, the fake title does not count. So,
no, he in the context of the call, he was making fun of it.
So let's not get crazy.
I know.
So here's your tally as we speak.
Yeah.
Carolina has 6 titles, 21 Final Fours. Duke has 5 titles, 18 Final Fours. That's your tally as we speak. Now, one of those Final Fours for Carolina was in 46 when, please stop. There were 8 teams. Like, you won 1 game. Awesome. But, Final Fours are Final Fours.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your numbers. Do with them what you want.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're still pretty damn good.
They're both amazing.
It's a reason.
Both amazing.
It's a reason why we talk about these things the way we talk about them.
They're both amazing.
It's really freaking incredible. All right, let's go to the paid side of things. I got a question from my brother related to Rockets. Yes, I got your responses about some new Star Wars stuff that dropped at Celebration yesterday.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, I have a bad feeling we're going to be talking about this.
You have a what, Joe? You have a bad feeling about this?
I have a bad feeling about this.
You underestimate our listeners' interests.
Here's the mail, it never fails. Makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, want to wail.